Hello, children. Old man here reading a book. Oh, I'm looking back at my almanac. Predictions for... No, I guess it's the past. What happened in 2025 in video games? Interesting chapter. Only 7 chapters left in this book. That's worrying. Welcome to Respawning Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast from Affable Idiots. One of your host, Old Man Nostradamus, Adam Gumbert. And today we have with us Chad. Yeah, what does 7 chapters even mean, Michael Ennis?
Yeah, does that mean that there's only 7 more years of video games before the medium explodes? Or does the world end? And if so, how is this person still looking back at an almanac? I don't know. Who wrote the almanac? Who watches The Watchmen?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
We also have with us Alexander. Canada only has 6 chapters left. Go Xena.
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling like a little bit of an old man myself right now. After last week's episode of Respawning Fire, I fell deathly sick. Not quite deathly. That perhaps is a little bit of an exaggeration, but I woke up the following day sick as a dog, and it's been a week of recovery since. I'm significantly better now. I no longer feel unwell, but I still do have a little bit of a cough in my throat, a little bit of phlegm, as the kids these days say. So if I seem a little bit quiet, a little bit soft-spoken, as if I'm trying to keep a hold of a frog that's trying to leap out of my pharynx, well, now you know why.
Y'all know what's weird? Phlegm has a P and a G in it. How wild
gross.
is that?
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a weird word. Weird word, to be honest.
I have a new book series. It's called The Old Man, The Young Man, The Ghost, and the Android. Joel Campos, the Android, you're with us as well today. How are you doing?
I'm here, and I actually set my video up so I can click it to come on when I actually talk.
Oh, let me go over to Twitch.
Whoa, click it.
I don't know why I'm doing this for the audio listeners.
I'm here.
I'm sure it's pretty good.
And I have prediction for 2025.
You better come up with a couple
I
more.
want to let you know, Joel, it's a what you're doing right now is a slippery slope, because before you know it, you'll be investing in green screens, those entirely green morph suits that allow you to blend into it. You'll be getting into all sorts of cool, weird tech stuff to make your little corner of the screen look as cool as possible. So be careful.
I mean, I technically could already get rid of my background with the NVIDIA broadcast app. I just didn't do it because it would look really weird in Video Ninja.
Yeah,
but maybe I'll do
You're
it.
so tiny down there.
Yeah, he's a little corner. That's funny. You can catch us live on twitch.tv/Affable Idiots Monday evenings at 8:30. A little later today, that's fine. YouTube and podcast services, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. A couple housekeeping things before we get into the rest of the show. Again, predictions and Fantasy Critic is what's coming up, just so you who aren't reading the episode description know. Housekeeping, a barf game for the month of January is Celeste 64, Fragments of the Mountain.
Nice.
Make sure to play. Joel is in the void of space. Make sure to play that game. We'll talk about it at the end of the month. Subscribers on our Patreon get early access to special episode for the month of January, which is Cozy baking a Respawning Fire cake. And our Monster Hunter movie commentary is now available for everybody on YouTube podcast services. Watch us talk about Ron Perlman's haircut in that movie adaptation of the video game. Everyone's got fun backgrounds. Anything for you, Cozy? Any fun backgrounds for you since we're doing this?
Fun backgrounds.
You don't have to. I would actually appreciate if you
me?
didn't. No, you're fine. Don't do it.
I don't have, like I said, I've been kind of sick the past week. I will have an episode one of these days where I set up the old green screen, but I didn't have the time or energy to do so.
No, you're perfect.
Today.
This man literally had a green screen of his actual background and then moved the green screen background to show the real background. It was wild. Anyways, first up, main quest for the day, 2025 predictions. So we here on Respawn and Fire like to have a little contest about who's the best gamer of the year. We didn't know we were doing that contest until last week. So this is the start.
It turns out we're all the best gamer, but
everyone's the best gamer. So we are going to do predictions for the year 2025. The way that it works is everyone gives 3 predictions. We'll get there when we get there. You have time to write them down if you can't. And these are just things that you think are going to happen this year in gaming. For everyone does 3. Everybody also has 1 counter pick. If you're like, that's not going to happen, you'll get a point if it doesn't. You have 1 agree where you're like, that's absolutely going to happen. Get me in on that, and we'll both get points. So yeah, we're gonna just order things that happen in the year. We have 3 per. I've got my list here right down. Does anyone want to start? I can, or you can. Or, I know you guys are loving. You guys are wild.
This is a deep cut. My background right now is a deep cut to an episode from several months ago when Cozy was talking about some kind of stoner pizza something where like pizza is weed or it's in a box or something like that. And this was just in my downloads fault.
I love that it's still there. That's insane. Yeah, but for predictions, anyone want to go first? Doesn't matter. What are we doing here? I can go if no one else wants to. But
let the people who have fewer predictions go first.
Sure. So yeah, makes sense.
So Chad or Joel, use up all our good shit.
Chad, go
let
first.
Joel go first. I now have 3 full size.
Okay, Joel, you go first then.
Predictions.
All right. So the only one I can really think of is we were hearing recently about Oblivion coming back as a remaster. I think Xbox is going to kind of double down on that and bring something else back, like another IP revived. Because now that they have, for over a year now, they've had, all this Activision stuff. They have everything. I'm drawing a blank. All those fucking companies they bought in the past few years. It's about time that they brought some of that stuff back that has been kind of dead for a while. So yeah, I think Xbox is bringing something else back other than what we already have heard about.
Okay, so Xbox brings back an IP that's not Oblivion.
Correct.
Okay, I think it's a good one. All right, next up, Chad, you can go because you have the next least amount. Chad, what's your first prediction?
All right. This one's an easy one, a simple one. Yves Guillemot is no longer in charge of Ubisoft. That could mean they have a new CEO. It could mean they get bought. It could mean they close everything they've ever done. Whatever it is, Ubisoft is no longer under the leadership of Yves Guillemot.
So that just means not leadership role. Like he could still obviously he'll make a lot of money whenever that gets sold off, but he's just not like calling the shots anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just think they're at a point as a company right now where they're just like they need some kind of change. Whether that's selling to somebody or fresh direction or whatever it might be. So,
quick question for Cozy because he is Canadian and French Canadian, so he knows how. How do you spell Yves? I typed in yes, Guillemot, and I know that's not right.
Like
I think it's Y-V-E-S.
It's Y-V-E-S? Okay, so I was only missing one letter. I knew it was close, but I looked up and it was yes.
Guillemot.
Yeah,
with 2 L's.
I can spell that. All right.
Whenever people talk about Yves, so stick with me on this. My sister is vegetarian. And in Quebec, one of the most popular brand of vegetarian meat products is called Yves, like Yves veggie cuisine. You have Yves veggie hot dogs, Yves veggie breakfast sausages, and I always think of that whenever people talk about the head of Ubisoft.
You're like, bad sausage patties.
Do you think?
Oh, they're terrible.
Do you think they role play even and Yves' partner? Do you think they role play and he pretends to be this big veggie meat kingpin?
I mean, rich people are weird, so I wouldn't
know. well, the thing also is remember, Ubisoft Montreal, obviously based in Montreal, but Yves Guillemot is French. He's from France, so he probably would not be familiar with Yves, the Montreal, Quebec-based vegetable meat brand. Well, unfortunately.
Globalization might have cured that, so
he might.
He could still be aware.
Next up, Cozy, I believe you have one less than I do, so do you want to give us your first prediction?
Yes. All right, I'm just going to keep saying I have a few because my brain short-circuited. I have a fair few predictions here. Some of them definitely lean a little bit more into the loony side of things. So I'm going to start with one that I think is relatively tame. Fair Games, the upcoming multiplayer shooter from Haven Studios, will be shadow dropped at some point in 2025, likely at the conclusion of a PlayStation showcase or something similar. It will be the only new multiplayer only centric video game from a Sony first party studio to release in 2025.
Okay. I'm typing it down. Yep, so Fair Games shadow dropped, only multiplayer centric Sony game. All right, makes sense. Only game as a service thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very cool. God, shadow drop sounds right for that game. Just fucking fart it out. Get it out of there.
I'm definitely
all farted out.
I'm definitely taking a bit of a gamble here because I can just as easily see someone arguing game never comes out. Game gets completely canceled. Axed. We never see it again. And so I'm saying, no, we are going to see it. But yeah, shadow dropping is the only way I feel like they could conceivably release it at this point. We're not going to see a big preview cycle like what they tried to do with Concord.
I love support. These backgrounds for Chad are wild.
Why, Chad? That's illegal. You can't be showing that.
Why?
Your LF carry?
It's just me giving my support code to LF Carry from when I was trying to buy someone to get that helmet from Guardians
That's
of
illegal.
Salvation.
Yeah, you have just admitted to a crime, Chad.
Oh,
yeah, it's not good. My God, I have so many fun predictions.
To be clear, it never happened. They never actually did buy me. They never did get me that helmet.
Sure, they never did anything for you.
Not that time. Not that time.
No, they didn't, because I had to get it whenever they reprised the raid earlier, or give it new weapons and shit, and you can get the helmet from anything.
All right. My first prediction that I'm cutting off the board. Xbox strategy continues. The strategy I'm talking about is sending games to other consoles, new places that they haven't been before. So Xbox will send an unannounced game to another console or platform, and one or more of those sells at least 1 million copies, like Sea of Thieves did. So this would exclude Indiana Jones because that's already been announced. So a new port or new thing they're putting somewhere else will sell at least 1 million copies.
Oh, fuck yeah, Master Chief Collection, easy.
Yeah, but it hasn't been announced, so I'm not going off any predetermined information. So yeah, Xbox put something somewhere else, 1 million copies. So yeah, if they did Master Chief Collection, it sold 1 million, counts anything. But Indiana Jones is not allowed to count because people already like it and we already know what's coming, so that would kind of be a cheat. So that's my first prediction. Who wants to go next? I guess it would be Chad. You said you do have a full 3.
I do, yeah.
Okay, Joel, let me know if you think of any before we give you free ones, but I do have free ones for you in case. But Chad, go ahead with yours.
The only thing I can think of is very generic. Is Nintendo is gonna Nintendo. I don't know what that means.
That means nothing.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
but it means something.
I don't buy it.
The one thing I love though is that like we're seeing a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 rumors like this past week, right? Like updated rumors, right? Somebody who's well known is like, oh, they're gonna announce this thing January 16th this week, and it's coming out in May or June. I can't wait for January 16th to come and go, and then they're like, oh yeah, I talked to my source, and it turns out they pushed the date back. Like that happens every fucking time for everything.
That's every time, yeah.
It's like those people who say the end of the world is going to happen on May 31st.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, wait, I interpreted the calendar wrong.
Yeah, I did it wrong. All right, well, Chad, you go first, or you go next then, since he doesn't have another one.
All right. So the next one. Pokemon Z to A. Pokemon Legends Z to A. Specifically, we don't know if there is a Nintendo Switch 2 version of this game, but specifically the Switch version will be the worst reviewed Pokemon mainline game on the Nintendo Switch, coming in at lower than a 70 on Metacritic.
Wow.
So good question.
For context,
go ahead.
The next highest is Pokemon Violet at 71 and Scarlet at 72. And then the next one is 80 with Pokemon Sword and Shield. And then Arceus got an 83.
Okay, I was going to wonder if I had to write down 70, but de facto being the worst reviewed Switch Pokemon game would make it a 70 or lower. Okay, sounds good. That's very... In the Switch 1 version specifically, I think that's good to point that out because it could...
I think they are not going to make any extra efforts to make these games run better, and people are just going to be fed up with it. And they're just going to be like, your game fucking sucks. We're not taking it anymore.
But the Switch 2 version we like.
Though,
Switch 2
do
is
you
going to be
think,
great.
Chad, do you think that they get reviewed separately by reviewers, though? Or do you think they just review the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game?
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I thought you were going to say there's like a Legends Z and a Legends A, and I was going to say there's only one game, but you're referring to the...
the way like if IGN gets this game, they're going to play it probably 90% on the Switch 2 if that's out at that time. Right? And in that review, they might say also it runs like shit on the Nintendo Switch. So our score is going to be a 75. Where it would have been like an 80, 85 if it...
That's the fun thing about the prediction. He says specifically the Switch 1 version will be the worst reviewed one. So it has to be a Switch 1 review.
That then, whatever that means.
And who knows who's reviewing the Switch 1 version versus the Switch 2 version.
That's part of the
if we have a Switch 2. Yeah.
Also, by the way, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl both got 73s. So
okay, so it would still be
another data point.
Cozy, give me your number 2.
Ooh, here we go. You know what? Chad tossed his Nintendo Switch adjacent prediction into the ring. I'm going to toss my own Nintendo adjacent prediction into the ring. Mario Kart 9 will finally be announced, and a big component of it will be a much more fleshed out online component, which will include a hub world in which you can interact with other people outside of your carts. Now, the reason why I say this very specific prediction for what Mario Kart 9 might include is because there is a widely popular Nintendo series that has existed entirely within the time frame of Mario Kart 8 existing. And that Nintendo series is Splatoon. It's one of those statistics that kind of blew my mind when I looked it up, and I'm like, yeah, that's totally true. In the time since Mario Kart 8 released on the Wii U in 2014, up until now, we have had Splatoon 1, 2, and 3 all release. And those games, I feel, have really pioneered Nintendo's, slow encroachment in the online space. Obviously, none of us look at Nintendo as a major player when it comes to the online components of their games. But I do think that for Mario Kart 9, they're going to look to the success of Splatoon and try to copy and emulate what Splatoon did in Mario Kart 9.
All right, very good. It is funny if you watch the video version that Chad's background is Cozy looking at Chad.
Is there somebody behind me?
Yeah, and then also...
oh my gosh, is somebody sneakily going to sneak up on me?
That's
that's pretty good.
Me looking really, really dapper, really fine in my suit.
Oh my god, so good. I'm going to go... Which one of these are all Nintendo ones? Let's see, that one. I'm going to also go with the Nintendo one, right? This is very Keighley specific. All right.
Okay.
Switch 2 spurs a good year for Nintendo. New console launch. Everyone's excited. There's cool new games coming out. At the Jeff Keighley Game Awards, Nintendo will have 3+ exclusive nominated. So 3 individual game plus nominated for whatever award it could be. And at least one of those games will be in the number of the 6 best games of the year category. So at least 3 Nintendo exclusives. 1 will be in the Game of the Year category.
Okay.
So I will do that. Just to copy everyone else doing Nintendo stuff. It's not my favorite prediction, but it was a Nintendo-based one, so I was sure, why not?
I feel like it's safe. I also feel like that feels pretty standard for any given year, but also last year you didn't have a whole lot of Nintendo stuff, and that wasn't true of last year. So, yeah, that feels fair.
There was not a Nintendo game in the top 6, so I think this would count. All right, next up, Chad. You believe you have one more?
I do.
So what is your last prediction?
My final one. Rocksteady just gives up. And they say, fine, fuck it. We'll just make more Batman. So Rocksteady abandoned... Well, we already know they're abandoning Suicide Squad, but they're not saying, all right, we're going to do some cheeky spinoff with Gotham Knights. They're not saying we're going to do something. They're just like, fuck it. We'll do another Batman game, and it'll be straight up regular ass Batman, and you're going to love it.
So,
and by regular ass Batman, I mean, it could be, Batman Year One. It could be, it doesn't have to be Arkham Batman, but it is a Batman game where you play as Batman.
So you would say, though, that Rocksteady needs to announce that they're making a new Batman-centric game.
Yes.
In the year.
What I have written is Rocksteady announces they're giving up and just doing more Batman.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to counterpick this one.
Ooh.
Because...
so we can counterpick at any point?
Well, we could wait till the end, but I'm not wasting... Actually, yes, I will wait till the end. I do want to counterpick this one just because they would need to announce it. And that's like the thing that I don't know if they're going to do yet. But I definitely agree with Chad. The next game they make is going to be a Batman game. I just don't know if it gets announced this year. All right, so that's 3 for Chad. 2 for me, 2 for Cozy. Cozy, give me one more, and then we can share with Joel and get him to his 3 as well.
One more. Do I want to be sane and safe, or do I want to be a little spicy? Let's be spicy. I think that Kingdom Hearts 4 will be re-announced, and that one of its Disney worlds, one of the many Disney worlds that you will travel to in this game, is going to be based on that of Pixar's Cars. Now, this is not entirely something I'm pulling out of my ass. This is actually based on the fact that people found within Kingdom Hearts 3's data evidence that a Cars world at one point was being considered, but ultimately got shelved. I think they're going to bring the Cars world back for Kingdom Hearts 4. And that will be one of the worlds that they will show off of the game when it is re-unveiled at some point in 2025.
Very cool. So here's my one that I had. I just write these silly. This is verbatim when I wrote down. All the nerds are wet. Jeff Keighley shows off Kingdom Hearts 4 at a show. "Quote unquote gameplay is shown, no date, but they announce a year." So you've already taken my Kingdom Hearts one. I just thought it was funny because it said the nerds are wet. That's the main reason I made that
I would
prediction.
have guessed Star Wars Land.
Star Wars is definitely going to be in this game, but I feel like that's the kind of thing where they'll probably save that for when the game is closer to release. If you look at how Kingdom Hearts 3 was revealed, there was like years and years and years of them being like, and here's a new Disney World, and here's a new Disney World. They didn't show off all the Disney Worlds at once. I think they're going to slow drip it in a similar fashion, and we'll see the Star Wars world of this game shown off probably like within the lead up to its final release date, is my prediction.
Okay. So for y'all, do you want a crazy ass, like, oh Lord, he's going there prediction, or do you want like a basic one?
Be bold.
Because remember, Joel, you're going to get some of these
Yeah.
leftovers. So what are you thinking?
I don't care.
Okay, I'm going to be bold. I also just like the way I wrote this. All right. 3 big games set for 2025 aren't real. AKA they get pushed without an official date to satisfy waiting fans. That's what I mean. They're not real. They're not coming out this year and they get pushed. Those 3 games are Judas, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, and Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
On the beach. Whew.
3 games that are not real for 2025. They get pushed without an official date is the actual full prediction. So I will copy that over into my... Oh, I cut it. I didn't mean to cut it. I meant to copy it, and that was it, buddy. All right, so Joel, that is 3 for... That's 3 for all of us. Cozy, how many do you have left?
I have 2 left.
I have 3 left. And Joel needs to have 2 total. So how do you want to do this?
I will take Cozy's second one and Adam's third one.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Cozy, let him know
Part
what
of
his
me
second
wanted
one
to
is.
do something with like Marathon by Bungie, but I have no idea if that game's coming out
That's true.
or what that game's going to do.
Joel,
Cozy's
this
second
might...
prediction.
You might have been given a easy-ish prediction. I don't know. This could be very likely, could not happen. My prediction is both the GameCube and the Wii will launch on Nintendo Switch Online in 2025, and they will be backwards compatible on the original Nintendo Switch in some capacity. So,
That's a good one.
TLDR,
I don't
GameCube
think
and
that's
Wii coming
as
to Nintendo
much
Switch
of a
Online.
given as you think it is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We'll see. And what I'm saying is, for sure, it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm saying it will also come to the original Nintendo Switch, but maybe, like, instead of directly saving the data to the system, maybe they'll have to stream them on the original Switch. But they will be available on both consoles, Switch 1 and 2.
So GameCube and Wii NSO on Switch 1 and 2.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, Joel, which one did you pick for me? Was it
3.
3? All right. This goes exactly counter to your buddy who is swearing up and down it's not going to happen. GTA 6 does launch this year in 2025. It is the best-selling and highest-reviewed AAA game of the year. So it comes out this year, and it is number 1 in sales and reviews for AAA games. That is your prediction that you're getting for the last one.
I'm cool with it.
Popping that bad boy in there. So, Cozy, did you have any left? Or because I do want to read out these other ones that I have. Or did you have one more?
I do have
or?
one more.
Do you want to read it, or is it not
this
interesting?
Is not.
No, this is
yeah.
just for
I'll
fun.
read it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably the least interesting of my predictions, but I mean, still, certainly there's something to talk about. The ports of Halo: The Master Chief Collection that have been rumored/reported for other consoles, aka the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation consoles, will be announced before July of 2025. So my internal thought process logic is I was thinking to myself, where would they announce those? And I was thinking, I mean, Summer Games Fest is a pretty good bet, but also not impossible. They might announce it at some other proprietary event before then. So I'm like, before the end of July of 2025, they will be announced.
That reminded me, I wanted to plus one Adam's the Xbox game comes to another console and sells more than a million.
We'll get there in a second, Chad. We got
I want to plus it. I want to plus it.
I'll do it in a second because I'm on multiple different screens. All right. My last few predictions that I'm not using. Square Enix starts to go multi-platform like they've talked about because their sales have always been disappointing for the last 20 years, according to them. Announcements of bringing these 3 games to Xbox or Switch. Those 3 games are Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and Forspoken. I wanted to throw that one in there just to be fun.
Forspoken.
Technically, the exclusivity for that ran out at the beginning of 2024, so I believe they could do that if they wanted. And the last one is there's a PlayStation's State of Play or Showcase in 2025. Shows off a new trailer for Wolverine and the first ever trailer for the next Resident Evil game. But again, we don't actually use those. Very good. Okay, so yes, now we have to pick one counter and one agree. Do you want me to go through them real quickly, and then as I'm reading them, whatever, we'll figure it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Okay. Cozy's predictions. Fair Game Shadow drops. It's the only multiplayer-centric Sony game. Mario Kart 9 announced. More focus on online. Has a hub world where you walk outside of the carts.
I want to counter Cozy's first one.
The Fair Games one?
Yeah.
Okay. Chad, counter.
Like I said,
I want
entirely possible that...
Okay.
Wow.
And my reasoning is that he specifically said Mario Kart 9, and I'm hoping it's not called Mario Kart 9.
But does Joel get points if it's not called Mario Kart 9?
He would get 1/4 of a point, or 1/3 of a point. No, I mean, if it's next Mario
I'm not
Kart.
countering that. So
you don't
I would get a third
now.
of a point, but if there's no hub world, I get another third of a point.
Yeah. It's based on what part of the prediction that he gets wrong and you get correct.
Gotcha. All right.
That's why I normally split mine up into 4 different parts so I can get little points here and there. Do you still want to counter it or no?
No, not
Okay.
at this time.
All right. Kingdom Hearts 4 reshown. Cars World is shown off. Chad's. He's Guillemot, no longer in control of Ubisoft. Pokemon Z through A, Switch 1 version, worst reviewed Switch Pokemon. What is it, Cozy?
I am going to counter that.
That it's the worst reviewed Pokemon game?
That's the one I was going to counter.
Oh,
You guys can both counter if you want, yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll
I'm
counter
confident as hell in this, so fucking do it.
I think that the extra year of development time will only be to this game's benefit. I think that if it won't be on the higher end of things, I think it'll probably score within the same range as the original Pokemon Legends game.
Okay. Now remember, we all do still have an agree we need to use. Chad's last prediction is Rockstar announces a new Batman-centric game. I'm going to counter that because I just don't think that announcement happens this year. All right. My predictions. Xbox strategy continues. Send its unannounced games to other consoles. 1 or more of them sell at least 1 million copies.
Plus one.
Okay. So Chad, agree. Too bad I can't agree with my own predictions, right? Switch 2 spurs a good Nintendo year, has 3+ nominations, exclusive nominations at Game Awards. At least one of them is in Game of the Year. 3 big games set for 2025 aren't real. Those are Judas, Marvel 1943, and Death Stranding 2 on the Beach are not coming out in 2025 and will not have an official release date. Joel's are Xbox brings an IP back that's not Oblivion. GameCube and Wii are on NSO for Switch 1 and 2, and then GTA 6 launches this year as the best-selling and highest reviewed AAA game of the year. So we all need agrees except for Chad. So big heads up.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with Adam's third one about 3 games not being real and getting pushed back.
All right, Cozy, just need your agree and then mine. This is my prediction. I'm going to agree with the GTA thing. That's Joel's last one. About it being the best-selling and highest reviewed AAA game of the year.
Can you refresh me on Chad's predictions again?
Yves Guillemot, no longer in control of Ubisoft. Pokemon Z through A, Switch 1 version, worst reviewed.
I will agree with the first one.
Okay, you're saying Yves is also out.
Yeah, fucking suck it, fake meat, man.
All right, that is our predictions for the year. We'll see what happens at the beginning of 2026, and then this will help us determine who the best gamer of the year is. Good luck to all of you.
May the
Moving
odds be ever in your favor.
That's what Woody Harrelson said. Moving on to playtime. Talking about playtime. Chad, what did you play? I'm very excited.
Whoa! I have here a bunch of letters that all stand for Suicide Squad killed the Justice League con leche y huevos, which is Spanish for with milk and eggs. Those are irrelevant. I just needed more letters to throw you all off the scent of what I was playing. Yeah, Gears of Wednesday turned into Gears of Suicide Squad because it was free on PlayStation Plus. And Matt was so excited for us to play it. He recently got the platinum trophy in that game. And yeah, I asked him, what did he say, like 65 hours or something like that, Joel, to get the platinum?
65 hours.
Oh my God.
You were telling us ahead of time in the call that that's what you'd been up to over the course of the past week. I was going to ask, like, are you guys going to go for the platinum? But you're telling me that he's already gotten the platinum trophy.
Yes, Matt already has the platinum trophy, and I wish I could burn the trophies that I do have in that game right now so that no one knows that I played it. But I do have some trophies. That game is just like
it's weird.
It's
sorry, real quick before you talk about how fantastic this game is. So like, does he just want to play the game with you guys just because he wants to like keep up with like the seasonal content or whatever? Like, what's his motivation for bringing you guys into the fold?
He wanted to play the game, more or less. He bought it when it came out and realized very quickly it's not a great game. It would be a lot more fun with friends. And it's just kind of become a joke within our friend group about playing it with him. He doesn't care whether we bought the game or not, really. But the fact that it was on PlayStation Plus, we have no excuse to not at least try playing it with him.
Yeah, so we played it for a few hours, although granted about half of that time was waiting for Dallas to take a shit. And yeah, we played through a few, I guess you would call them missions, right? We got up to the point where you could play multiplayer. We got into each other's worlds and we did a bunch of missions. But the game, it feels like there's literally like nothing to this game. Like, it felt like we were just going from cutscene to in-game cutscene to CG cutscene to then we're all four standing on top of a building and no one's allowed to leave the top of the building while they talk to us over the intercom. And then as soon as they do that, the objective is go to this building at the other end of the city. So we all just jump over there, fighting no enemies along the way. And then once you get there, kill 4 bad guys in 2 seconds, and that's the end of the mission. And now you get this long-ass screen showing Harley Quinn kicking some guy in the balls again and ranking you on score. Like, literally, the first time we saw this standings of, like, who scored the most points, I was like, I literally didn't even realize we did anything that got us points. Like, I didn't know there was, like, we did an objective. I didn't even realize the mission was over or that we had even completed anything. And I thought, oh, okay, maybe that's just like this one mission. And we did like 3 or 4 missions and they were all the same way. It's like, I can't believe this qualifies as gameplay. Like, this is literally just get to the other side of the map. And that's it.
In my opinion, I think that some of the like quick missions Chad's talking about, like it'll be like, hey, go here and I don't know, interact with this thing. And you'll interact with it and it's like, oh God, there are enemies spawning. We got to take them out. And it's literally like 10 to 20 enemies that aren't difficult to kill at all. It's like shoot them 3 to 5 times and they're dead. But I think that part of it might be that the game, and I'm not 100% sure, but it feels like it doesn't scale with playing co-op online. Like, I feel like if you were playing by yourself, yeah, maybe killing these enemies might take a little longer. But yeah, it's way too quick to kill these enemies. The objective's done, and then we're flying across the map to do the next thing. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot here. Like, I wish this was a Telltale game that just gave me the story as opposed to having to go across this whole map to do everything. That being said, I think that like the gameplay is semi-entertaining. Like, at times it's fun to shoot, but then it's just way too repetitive. Like, there's not enough variation to what I'm doing to make it super entertaining. The sound design, I think, is awesome. The game sounds really cool. When you're shooting and stuff, the weapons all sound great. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of meat on the bone for this game. It's just a story is all I care about. And I don't even know if I care about the story enough to want to play this game every week for like 10 weeks, right? If we play once a week for
not that long.
an hour or two. Yeah, well, I mean, if Dallas is taking a shit for an hour and a half and we're playing for 2 hours, then we got a problem.
Yeah,
It
I
takes a
agree
long
on
time.
the gameplay stuff. It's very like whatever and cool, but I'll see if you guys agree. Isn't it crazy on like the production values and like the acting in the game, where it's like if you would have not made try to make a games as a service, this could have been good. Like again, I think the
It could have been
story
good.
and performances are better than Avengers ever was, but I think the gameplay is also just as boring as Avengers was.
We're all watching this not just on Twitch but also via the screen share that Joel is doing in the Video Ninja room, and like even with it being super choppy and the frame rate's not great, the like facial expressions, quality of those facial expressions really damn good. This game is undeniably a high production value title, and it's unfortunate that the surrounding product was just not that great.
Yeah. The whole game just also feels devoid of life. Like I noticed that doing the tutorial where you have to do each of the 4 characters going to this one point, and it's just like you're literally in a void, like jumping from this like platform to platform, and it was like, wow, okay, there's nothing here, no one around. You're fighting these random ass purple enemies that appear every once in a while, and then you get to the city and it's the same exact way. And I know that's like it's a story trope, though, like the whole city is supposed to be devoid and active, but it's like, yeah, you're traveling across a giant metropolis, and sometimes so I had to run around. I was trying to find enemies to fight while Dallas was shitting, and I was having a very hard time finding anyone to interact with at all in this entire city. And it was, the whole game is just boring, man.
And honestly, I think that Dallas took as long as shit of as he did because he did not want to play the game.
Yeah.
Because
when he came back and realized we hadn't done anything, he was like, "Oh, why?"
yeah. He was like surprised, like but kind of bummed that we didn't advance the story at all. That was another thing though, is the servers were pretty janky. Like it took us a while to load up a like an online co-op server, because like when you go to invite somebody, you have to start an online server. That took like a minute or two just with the little pinwheel loading, and then once you got in, you could invite your friends. And then we found that sometimes Chad would be like, "Oh yeah, it says I'm in your game. I see you running around." I'm like, "I don't see you anywhere. Like you're not here at all." And then we'd have to like reboot the game or leave the game and then resend invites. It was a whole thing. But yeah, Adam's not here. He stepped away. So let's go
Taking a
on.
shit?
I'll talk. I'll talk about Call of Duty Warzone. I played some Warzone. The only reason I played it is they added like some Squid Game stuff. I binge watched season 2 of Squid Game last week, and they have like I saw it all over TikTok. They have like red light, green light, where it's, just like in Squid Game, you die and you're eliminated if you move when you're not supposed to. They have that, and then they also have a Squid Game Warzone playlist, which I played a few rounds of with some randoms, and that was pretty interesting. So it's like your typical Warzone, but it'll have random games throughout it. So it'll be like, all right, the team that is at the highest elevation advances to the next round. And if your team is like, it'll say like the top 10 teams will advance or top 8 teams, it narrows down to the end of the game. And like, obviously your team can get eliminated by people killing you, like when you're just running around the map. But if you're like, say the top 10 teams are advancing, if your team's at the highest elevation, and your team you're at like 100 feet up in a building and you're in the 11th place and the team in 10th place is 110 feet, above ground, then your whole team just gets wiped and you die and you're kicked out of the game. So it's like a whole interesting like aspect on top of it. And
this
also
is in addition to like the smoke coming in and the circle getting smaller.
Yeah,
like this is all,
yes.
That sounds really cool.
It is really cool. And they also have red light, green light in there as well. So like you'll be running around with your squad, like gathering money, like, going to buy, like you could literally be in the middle of a fight with another team. And then it'll just say like, all right, red light, green light starting in 10 seconds. And like, if you're literally shooting at somebody and you shoot or move and it says red light, you just die like right there on the spot. And so like
Wow.
you could die while shooting somebody and then it's crazy.
God, how fucking tense is that if you're in a red light situation and you see each other on the screen and you can't move or shoot? Oh, I
really
want to play
scary.
that.
It's really cool.
Thanks for the invite.
One of the other ones is like I played by myself. I don't know. I'll send you an invite next time. I'll text you. But yeah, one of the other ones was like the teams that collect the most money in the next 2 minutes advance. It's just like a lot of weird like dumb stuff like that. One of them was like the teams that spend the most money at the I forget, the buy stations. Those teams advance. So it's a ton of fun. It's like a whole extra level. I wish that this was not strictly tied to Squid Game, because that just tells me that this is going to go away. Like probably in the nearest future. I don't know, whenever the next season starts, maybe. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. We got to get on it. All right.
Cool.
Let's move on. Cozy, what have you been playing?
Yeah, we're just. I hope, by the way, real quick, we don't know where Adam went. I hope that Adam comes back with all sorts
he texted
of cool.
us. He texted us 4 minutes ago. BRB.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was saying, he did not indicate where it is that he went. I hope that when he comes back, he's got something crazy cool, all sorts of gizmos and gadgets to show off.
He's just been covered in blood.
In the meantime, while we speculate just how much blood Adam Gumbert's going to be covered in, I can tell you that I beat Gears of War Definitive Edition, aka Ultimate Edition. It's Ultimate Edition, right? Not Definitive Edition?
Yeah, it is Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, this game was a fun time, but also, man, the modern AAA video game developer cannot conceive how short this game is. This game, like, when we finally got into the final chapter, because I'd a million years ago watched like an IGN recap of like the plot of Gears of War 1 and 2 in 5 minutes. And when we got to the train, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. This game concludes in a train fight. Wait a minute. Are we already at the train 5 chapters in? And yeah, we were.
Five
we went on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, five acts. Went on the train, shot a bunch of the locusts, killed Ram
General
after
Ram.
20 retries. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Big old Ram. Yeah, spoilers for a 70-year-old game at this point. Gotta say, though, can't complain. I can't tell you that this game's story was necessarily the best thing I ever experienced. I thought it was a little underbaked in a lot of ways, but honestly, can't complain about this game's length. And while I am looking for something a little bit more substantial for its upcoming sequels, I think this game was exactly as long as it needed to be. And man, it just makes me wish that we had more developers nowadays that had the balls to be like, we're making this game 5 acts long, and that's as long as it's going to be.
Well, just wait, because Gears of War 2 also has 5 acts, but it feels like it's the longest game on planet Earth.
Oh, okay. Well,
so does Gears 3. I think Gears 3 also has 5 acts.
That is correct. Although it doesn't feel as long as 2 did, but it also feels long.
I am still very much looking forward to these titles. I guess it's not. Anyways, whatever. I'm looking forward to them, but I'm probably going to break up my playthrough of the series, play something different next before I jump into Gears of War 2. Fun time. Adam, I'm surprised to see that you were not covered in gallons and buckets of blood when you came back.
Why would I be covered in gallons of blood? What's going on?
We
were all predicting.
We had to speculate.
Oh, you were trying to figure out the story? Here's what the story is. I love sandwiches with red pepper flakes on them. Maybe they don't love me as much. So.
Oh, no.
Oh, you pulled a Dallas.
Yeah, I did pull a Dallas. The minute, it's so funny. I'm not going to be graphic. The minute that you mentioned the Dallas thing, I was like, oh, damn, here it comes. Oh, shit. All right. Is that it, though? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we've talked about everything except for your motherfucking Suicide Squad Season 1.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, no. So playing more Rivals, Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm are Season 1 of Marvel Rivals. Fucking great characters, man. We got new maps. We have a new game mode, which is basically a free-for-all deathmatch. And the new heroes play super, super cool. This is the season pass on this one. So the first season pass in Season 0 was like 4 pages long because it was like not a full season. And this one is the full, like, I think it's like a 90-day season or something like that. And there is like 8 pages of outfits. And it's like, oh yeah, we've got all the good outfits now. We've got Rocket Raccoon with the top hat and... like you're saying, Wolverine looks like Hugh Jackman from Van Helsing, and so that's fun. And the new maps are great and all that. But yeah, the new heroes are great. Mr. Fantastic is a problem, and
he's invisible.
He's a menace. An Invisible Woman, I haven't used her yet, but everyone who uses her gets MVP of the game. So, again, I've only played a couple nights of that, but I am thoroughly enjoying myself. It's just a game that keeps giving me what I want, and that is they're not afraid. They're not destroyed by the woke mind virus. They'll put sexy characters in these video games.
Whoa.
Everyone's hot.
Whoa.
Oh, these Joel, can you look up the Malice Sue Storm outfit for Marvel Rivals? It is
this
Marvel
one,
Rivals.
This one caught like a bunch of controversy online.
too sexy, huh?
Yeah, because there was specifically somebody on Twitter saying like, "Oh, how come they don't make any men look like this?" And then somebody literally found a tweet from her like
From that girl,
a month ago with another, I forget who it is.
It was
Namor.
Namor.
Namor? Hold on. I lost.
She was like,
audio
"Look at
for a
this hot
second here.
fucking piece of ass."
Yeah.
And it's like,
So, yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, they found a tweet from her. I cannot find that Sue Storm skin, right?
Yeah, Sue Storm Malice. Or Invisible
Malice.
Woman, maybe is probably what she's called in the game. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's a fun time. Costumes are good. Enjoying it. It's a good game. And then if he pulls
There
up
you
this
go.
costume, you'd be like, yeah, this is good stuff. All right, pull it up for everybody, Joel. How do I explain it? Imagine if you had a bikini bottom and then you pulled all the way up your ass cheeks. That's what that looks like.
You said Bikini Bottom, I thought SpongeBob.
Well, no.
This
Well,
is like,
It's not doing what I want to do.
why is that a
but,
baby picture for babies?
I don't know. How do I make this full screen? It's not
I
telling
don't know.
me.
Don't worry about it, Joel. It's all good.
I
I'm
want to
worried.
see. I want to see the butt though.
Hold on,
Go to
hold on.
YouTube.
Oh, nope.
You can look it up on your own time.
All
Chad.
right, I'll Google butts.
Yeah, just type in butts. Oh, there he is. He's zooming in.
Okay, we got some pixelated thighs.
Some
problem-
pixelated
The bikini
thighs.
bottom. Yeah.
Everyone turns it around though, and it is. You know, she looks like a girl from that
Sue
movie.
Storm butt
Substance.
Malice.
Picture
She's got-
like
Here's
the
the problem.
Borat swimsuit, but on a hot woman with thick
Oh,
thighs.
she got cheeks.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Whenever I see a skin like that one that has like exposed toes at the very bottom, I always think of that one Twitter account that was like, "Yo, check out this one." It was like this one like 14-year-old character that had like a similar thing going on, and they were like, "Yo, check out this character's grippers." And it's like, dude, she's 14. What are you doing?
Hey, Namor could be 500 years old. His feet look good too. You know what I'm saying? But anyways,
Good point.
that's all we have for that. Moving
How do
on.
you get that Malice skin? Is that part of the season pass?
No, you got to pay for that one. That one's cold hard cash.
$69.69.
Yeah. Next up, moving on to our fantasy critic draft, everyone. Oh, here we are. We're going to draft some games.
Whoa!
So for those who don't know, fantasy critic draft, it's like fantasy football except for video games. What's going on, Chad?
I opened up the tab and saw my name.
Oh, yes, very good. We did this last year. I won. Cozy came in second. Chad came in third, but now we're adding Joel. This year, we are going to draft 4 games today. And again, the idea is basically if you draft a game, its score on on OpenCritic is how many points you get for your team. We have to have 10 games by the end of the year, so we draft 4 today. You pick up 6 throughout the year. 1 counter pick. So you say, hey, I want to counterpick this person. If it doesn't come out this year, basically it locks it on their team. If it gets bad scores, you get positive points. They get negative points. And it's the same rules as last year, so same kind of games are available to draft and all that good stuff.
This time we have Joel joining us, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Joel, how excited are you?
I'm excited. Adam told me that the only reason I'm allowed in it is so that Chad has a chance to not come in last place. So
Okay.
I didn't
okay.
actually say that at
It's not
all.
my
He's
fault
making
Indiana
that up.
Jones fucking screwed me.
Yeah, it was just Indiana Jones' fault.
It was Indiana Jones, those fucking Nazis, and Princess Peach, which is redundant because she's a fucking Nazi after that game.
Oh, no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click set draft order. I'm going to hit random 3 times, and then whatever it ends up being is
Whoa.
the draft order will do. So random once.
We're sneaky snake in it, right?
Yeah, it's a
doing a
snake draft. So if you go last, you'll go,
snake. I'm a
eventually go
snake.
first. All right. And there we go. We are starting. Well, you can't add or remove. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, the draft is starting.
This is
and
bullshit.
Say your team's name first, and then talk us through the games that you're getting. You might want to refresh the page because Cozy, you're up first.
Oh, am I? Hold on a sec. Yes, I am up first. Hello, everyone. I am Cozy Bear, aka Alexander Gazina, and this year I decided not to put my name front and center on the name of my publisher because I am now Exploding Door Productions. And yeah, it's my first draft. What am I going to draft first off? I am going to go with what I think to be a pretty safe game when you want to talk about scoring a lot of points. It's also most likely to release this year. I'm going to go with Monster Hunter Wilds as my first draft.
Ooh, not to be confused with Monster Hunter Worlds.
Correct.
Yes.
Get it.
Not
Outer
the
Wilds,
old
Outer
one.
Worlds, Monster Hunter Wilds.
I like it,
Monster
Chad. I
Hunter
like it.
Worlds. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. You got to hit draft and confirm.
Yes.
Just
Go-
speak it
sorry,
into
give me a
existence. It reminds me of the Office episode where Michael comes out and just screams, "I declare bankruptcy!" Like, you can't just say it.
Well, no, real talk, for a moment, I was uncertain because I've seen Adam playing around with his keyboard a lot. For a second, I thought, is Adam doing it on his end? Which he could technically
No, he's
do.
just Googling more Sue Storm butt.
Anyways, it's taken care of. I have drafted Monster Hunter Wilds.
Very cool. So this might not matter by the time you hear it. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. A lot of Switch 2 rumors going around. Yada yada yada. So
What's your team name?
Oh, by the way, my team name is the Continued Hellscape, formerly known as Embracer. Because I think that joke is funny and keeps on giving. But yeah, based Switch 2 announcement. People are excited. I made a prediction earlier about one of them games being nominated for Game of the Year, and I'm going to draft the game that I think will potentially be that game. I'm drafting unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer.
Oh!
That's my first pick. Because I think that'll do very well, and it's very rumored, and I think it's very possible.
Mario is always represented in some form at the launch of a Nintendo console. Will be a 3D Mario platformer? I mean, I think that's a fair bet and prediction.
Save me, Mario!
All right, my publisher name is Wario64 Games. And with my first pick, it's hard in this league because there's less players than in other leagues. I'm not gonna do GTA 6 again. I don't know what to do, guys. All right, I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What am I gonna do?
Pick a video.
I'm gonna go Civilization 7 because those games always review well.
Fair point. All right, and our last team. You've been giggling for the last 10 minutes.
I'm just like, this is a little bit of catharsis. If anyone's played Destiny with me, and I'm just like running around the tower, you've probably heard me talk about how jealous I am of people who are so careless with their usernames. Like, you have to pay to change your username on a lot of these services, and people are running just like Marasov in a hot tub or like Weird Pickle with a hat on and that kind of shit. I was like, God, I think so hard about my team name or my username. And so when Adam, right before we started recording this, said, "All right, I'm going to put your publisher name in." And I literally, this is what I said out loud and became my team name. I said, publisher, Paul Bleacher, Paul Fart Ball Chop. And that is now my team name. Paul Fart Ball Chop is my publisher this year.
Oh, it's so good. I had to mute myself because I laugh so hard at that every time I see it. Good Lord.
Oh, if you thought I couldn't one up Ubisoft, just wait. Paul Fart Ball Chop. And this year we are starting out. Hold on, I gotta refresh it because it doesn't say I can draft. Okay, here we go. This year we are drafting. I have a list of games that are coming out that I think are going to do well, and they are ranked in order of last installment's Metacritic score. And so we're going to do Mario Kart, unannounced Mario Kart game, search, select, draft.
That's a good one. You have
We've
two in a row,
already
though.
It's going to
seen
be
information about a leaked Mario Kart steering wheel for the Nintendo Switch. So like, I'm pretty sure that thing is coming this year, and that shit ranks well.
My prediction is it's going to be Mario Kart 9 or the unannounced 3D Mario game. I don't think we get both. I think both.
We got both for Nintendo Switch. We got Mario Kart and Odyssey in the same year.
But that was
Not
Mario
at launch,
Kart 8
though.
Deluxe. That was a rematch, and that's
Odyssey was
another point
October.
too. They were a little bit separated by a few months there as well.
Well, just counterpick one of them, Cozy, if you're so confident.
Yeah, counterpick it if you hate it.
I want to hear. I want to hear more of the predictions. And I'm saying, for the record, I'm not saying these are bad picks. I'm saying these are good picks. I'm just saying I only think we got room for one of them. That's all.
With an equal Metacritic score in its previous installment, GTA 6. Why aren't you going to pick GTA 6? Come on. According to Adam, it's going to be the highest reviewed and the highest selling game of 2025.
Good pick.
That now belongs to Paul Fart Ball Shop.
With my next pick, I'm going to go with Ghost of Yotei. I loved the Ghost of Tsushima, and I think this game's going to be great. And I'm pretty confident it'll come this year, considering they just announced it this past year. Fairly recently.
All right. I'm doing a quick Google search of seeing how the last one reviewed, because I have two in mind. I don't think I'm going to get both. I'm not going to say it out loud just in case I get lucky. Okay. I am going to take this one. I am taking a game. It's going to come out soon, so I'm going to get points on the board. And people love the publisher. And they make good games. I'm taking Split Fiction from Hazelight Studios.
Oh, yeah. Good choice.
Oh, Joseph Fares, give me another 88 plus. Thank you very much.
Yeah, It Takes Two got an 88, but I have a feeling they're just going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah, that's what my hope is.
All right. And thus, the game has returned to me. Now, here's the thing. At the very top of this podcast, I said that I wasn't going to make any predictions about this particular game because it burned me 2 times last year. But I am still going to draft it. And that game is, of course, the one and only Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Yeah, I mean, there are still a lot of not unannounced, but unanswered questions about this particular game. A lot of things that we don't know. Metroid Prime Remastered reviewed very well, but you know, it has been a really, really long time since the last properly new Metroid Prime game. The video game industry has changed a lot since then. I think there's a lot that can potentially go wrong with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, but if they knock it out of the park, this game has the potential to be really huge. So I feel very confident in that pick. And now, because of the snake draft, it's still with me again. What do I want to go for my next prediction?
Go with something that's easy to counterpick.
All right. Chad wanted me to go with something that's easy to counterpick, so I'm going to go with a
Metroid
little
Prime
game
5.
from a relatively obscure studio. Few people have ever heard of them. From Software's Elden Ring Night Rain will be my next drafted pick.
Spooky.
Very good. I told this to Joel because Chad, you might have heard me. I have a tier list. I have a list of things that I think are going to do well based on tiers, and go down from there. I still have 3 games left in my A tier, and I'm going to take one of them right now. The last 2 games are in the upper 80s. I'm hoping this one can stay there and maybe go a little higher. We're going to take Doom: The Dark Ages.
Ooh, doo-doo day.
Doop, 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 doop. There we go. Joel, you're next.
All right. For my next one, this is something I haven't played any of the games in the series, but people love them and they've been doing pretty well lately, and that's Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I saw some combat gameplay of like the ships in this, and it looks pretty cool.
I mean, if it would have come around, I would have taken that on my next pick, so good on you, Joe.
Yakuza. All right, that brings us back to Paul Fart Ball Chop, and we're going to... It's such a good name. And to think it was just like off the cuff. All right. Y'all might or might not be familiar with a little game called Metal Gear Schmalid 3.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you this was getting a remake? And it is going on my list for a second year in a row. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Game that fucked me last time, but it's going to get me so much goodness this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's funny about this game is thanks to Bloober Team doing unexpectedly well with, what was it, Silent Hill 2. Now I feel like we're all looking at Delta as like, oh yeah, and Delta's going to come out and it's going to do well for itself. Like we all expect this game to be great now because of that other game, which is, I mean, great for you, Chad.
Metal Gear Solid 3 already has a 91% on Metacritic, so this, with a remake that makes it look gorgeous as fuck, why not? Let's go. All right, and then for my second sneaky pick, I gotta determine whether or not I go another remake type direction or whether I go another, like, take a little bit of a chance. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of a chance. And we're going to say Hollow Knight Silk Song's finally fucking coming out this year, and it's finally going to get all the limelight it deserves. And it's going to go onto my team.
It has to come out at some point, right?
It has to.
It's got to.
If it doesn't, I quit video games.
With my next pick, I don't think Death Stranding's coming out this year, so definitely not going to go with that.
Make sure you use his full Christian name, On the Beach.
Borderlands 4, I wouldn't trust Randy Pitchford to fucking watch my dog, let alone come out with a good video game for Fantasy Critic. I'm going to go with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake.
Solid.
Wait, is that a different game than the one that came out last year?
Yes, 3
that was Dragon
came
Quest
out.
3.
Yeah.
HD 2D.
Oh.
Which was the prequel to 1 and 2. So they're
it.
coming out in chronological order, not release order.
All right, Cozy. I'm going to do something that's going to upset you.
I mean, I already drafted Metroid Prime 4, so I don't know what this can be.
No, it's something else that'll upset you. It's a game that me and you like, and it's going to score well, and you're not going to get it. That game is Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. Get on my team, baby. We are not messing around.
I didn't even...
Citizen Sleeper.
You know what? I think I researched a lot of my games ahead of time. I think with Citizen Sleeper 2, I looked at Citizen Sleeper 1's Metacritic, and I'm like, this game's going to review well. But Cozy, your boy Cozy here, is shooting for the stars. Not the stars of Citizen 2 Starward Vector stars. Not Citizen 2 Starward Vector. Citizen Sleeper 2. These games are annoying. It's hard to pronounce them, hard to say them. Let's get past that. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary people of the world, I am drafting Hades 2 for Exploding Door Productions. It's going to finally exit early access.
I don't know if it's going to allow you.
It won't.
Oh, no.
It's an early access game.
It is currently, it has a score already, and it is in early access. You cannot draft a game that is in early access.
Damn.
Wow.
You think
So
I
is
wouldn't
there
have taken a Hades 2 if I could have? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Let's fuck around.
Huh. Is there any, so like, was there any year where Hades 2 could have earned anyone?
No,
any
that's what
points
sucks.
for any of these
Unless
lists?
you have very
Wow.
custom rules you cannot have ever gotten.
Wow.
Technically, if you drafted Hades 2 last year, and then it came out in early access, but it was scored in early access, you would have gotten points depending on your league format. But normally games that are already in early access cannot be drafted because they already have scores. That's what fucked me out of Baldur's Gate 3, because it technically already had an early access score. So, it happens.
Well, that is too bad. But not to fear, because I have many a backup. And backup number 1, I'm going to go to the top of the phone book here, look for games that start with an A. You know what starts with A? Avowed. From our friends at Obsidian.
Ava would.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draft this bad boy.
I'm real excited
it says
for
that
Avowed.
the draft is complete.
There
we go.
What are you going to say, Joel, real quick, before we all name off our team names?
I was just saying, I'm real excited for Avowed.
Me too.
Can't wait.
I love the preview, that last set of previews where everyone's like, this game fucks. So that's cool. Starting from the top, everyone tell us your name. Cozy, your team name and your games.
I am Exploding Door Productions, and my games are Monster Hunter Wilds, Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, Elden Ring, Night Rain, and Avowed.
I am the continued hellscape, formerly known as Embracer. I have unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer, Split Fiction, Doom the Dark Ages, and Citizen Sleeper 2.
I am Wario64 Games, and my games are Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Ghost of Yote, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which is a ridiculous name for a game, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, which is also kind of a ridiculous name for a game.
And I am Paul Fart Ballchop, which is not ridiculous at all. And I have Mario Kart, unannounced next mainline console game, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Ooh, that's a good lineup.
We also have the
when are our counter picks
points
due?
up here.
Counterpick just has to be done before November 1st of this year. So you can wait for people to pick up more games that you want to counterpick, or if you want to do it now, you can do it now. But
Adam, you want to go over the projections of
I'll go projections. Projections mean absolutely nothing whatsoever.
Exactly.
But it has Cozy in first with 95 points, Joel in second with 91, me in third with 89, and Chad in fourth with 84. But again, projections mean
Chad.
literally jack shit.
It doesn't take into account that GTA 6 is going to get 104 on Metacritic, so...
Yeah. 104. And that's our draft. That is our draft for the year. Keep up with it or don't. I don't care. I'm still going to win regardless. Look at me talking smack. Oh, look, I do have that crown next to my name. You see that over there? That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that means you have a gold
it's like
background and you are a Pikachu or a Mew or a Charizard.
Yeah. It's a
or
little
a
swirly
Mewtwo.
background. Very cool. All right. That's it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. May the best man win.
Is there anything else on the show? Is there anything else going on? I don't know if there is. Or we just done?
No, there's nothing else. We don't have any more quests. We don't. Let's go to bed. Everyone, go to bed. Here's what you need to do. Go to patreon.com/respawninfire. Buy a bed from Casper.com. Use our promo code.
Use our promo code Paul Fart Ballchop.
Paul Fart Ballchop. All one word. Paul Fart Ballchop. Patreon.com/respawninfire, and you can go there and you can view the exclusive for the month of January. All patrons have early access to Cozy Bacon a RAF Cake. So check that out. That is your exclusive access for the month. Everyone who's like, I hate having exclusive things and being in the it crowd, you can go watch whatever the fuck we did before that. Oh, Monster Hunter commentary and talking about Power Rangers. You can watch Monster Hunter. We won't actually show you Monster Hunter, but you can watch us watch Monster Hunter and talk about Power Rangers a lot.
I would argue that watching us watch Monster Hunter is better than you actually watching Monster Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, just Google Monster Hunter pictures while you listen to the podcast, and it's gonna be great. You can also, as a patron, get access to the ability to control us. You pay us money and we perform tricks for you. And those tricks are play the games that you want us to play based on a list that we provide you. So you have chosen for the month of January for us to play Celeste 64, Mountain something. What is it? Fragments of the Mountain. So we're going to be playing that for January. And then you will be able to vote in a couple of weeks on whatever we're playing for February with 2 R's.
And
Flem
don't
has
forget
a P
that
and an L
you
and a G.
can write in your thoughts on Select 64 to the show. And if you feel very passionate about Select 64 and you vet you to be a person who is sound of body and mind, we might even let you on our review of the particular game. So
That's correct.
Get in there,
only
write in your
requirement
thoughts
is
or your pledge of participation.
If you're going to be on the show, the only requirement is that you do have to have human skin. Like, I will not have anyone on the show who is just a bag of bones or who is like covered in
Yeah.
Or
cat
like a
skin.
lizard. Or a
Yeah,
lizard.
lizard. No, get out of here,
You
lizard
lizard
people.
aren't allowed. Yeah.
Nasty ass
You're one of the
fucking
mole men.
reptiles.
From that
Oh,
one
man.
black and white Superman movie. We don't want you either. Go back in your hole. Go back to the earth.
That's it, everyone. We started late. We're ending early, Papa John's. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Where's Knuckles?
Where is Knuckles?
Where is he?